Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. How you doing? Welcome back. Um, Absinthe is now legal for sale in America, which it hasn't been for a while. And it was made illegal. It was because it was supposedly thought there's this stuff called wormwood, which is supposedly exceedingly hallucinogenic, and the thought was that it makes people go insane and kill people, and it's totally false. Okay, you see, what happened was in France during the time of the great artists, Picasso and Van Gogh and that kind of stuff, the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. They used to drink wine, and wine was what France was famous for. It was a major import-export. And what happened is this guy called Pernod, spelled Pernod, P-E-R-N-O-D, if I remember rightly, but that's how we ended up having the recipe, was wandering around in the countryside. I don't know why I'm wearing headphones. There's nothing coming through them. Maybe it's just because people do that kind of stuff. Wandering around the countryside, he comes across this old lady who is collecting herbs from the woods and stuff. And they hang out and they chillax. And she says, "Try this," and he tries it. Ooh, it tastes like licorice. Ooh, it's really good. What is it? It's my fix-all. It's because every natural medicinal person does have a fix-all that fixes everything from baldness down to pregnancy, that kind of stuff. So he says, "Okay, give me the recipe." She said, "Okay." And so then he took the recipe, of course, and then he put a patent on it. Businessman would expect. And then he created this booze, and it contained, as I said, it contained wormwood, which had a reputation of being hallucinogenic. Now, what happened is the great artists and other people that are hanging around like coffee shops, as it were suddenly got into this stuff, and there's a whole ritual behind absinthe, because what you do is you have this like water container that's full of ice with water in it, so it's really, really cold, and it has like a spigot on it, or up to 4 or 6 spigots on it, and then you just turn the spigot, or the tap, as we call it in England, and it drips water. And then what you do is you take yourself an absinthe glass, and then you put what they call a spoon. Now, it's not a spoon because it's flat. So imagine a flat piece of metal with a bunch of holes in it, and that lays across the glass, top of the glass, and then you put a sugar cube on top of that, and then you put the absinthe in the glass first, dribble, 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 and then drip, 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 drip on the sugar, and then you just let it sit there, and it's like it just like drip, drip. It takes like a while for the water to dissolve the sugar cube, and once the sugar cube's dissolved, it creates what they call the green fairy. Because of anise, I think it's there's a friend of mine called Anise. That's a joke now. Anise is what makes licorice flavour. It also what gives the flavour to absinthe as well as Pernod, which was what happened afterwards. To get to that in a second. And it starts off. Absinthe is kind of like usually green. And when you add any kind of like water to it, especially, it turns into like a cloudy, greeny yellow kind of colour, and they call that the green fairy. And it's high in alcohol, as I say, it's 110 proof, which is like almost as alcoholic as Everclear. And so the artists were drinking all this stuff and having absinthe parties and whatever, and blah 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 blah. And then the wine companies were seeing a loss in sales, and they were like, "Well, screw this." So they started hunting around to find a way of defaming the absinthe company, as it were. So one thing, the story was that a guy went home after drinking absinthe and killed his family. What it was the guy was a serious alcoholic, and he'd actually got drunk on wine and absinthe. Now, he drank wine to get drunk, and then he had a shot of absinthe. And by the time it's basically equal parts of water and absinthe. By the time you've done the sugar cube thing, it's just like a mixed drink. It's not, if you drink it like a shot, it's going to be, whoa, dude, like 151 or Everclear or something similar. But if you do it the way it's, ritualized, as it were, it's just like drinking a mixed drink that tastes like licorice. It's not really powerful. And so what happened is the wine companies got together with the media. Let me think. Major industrial corporation or financial corporation using the media to taint ideas until it suits them. Who would have thought it? Anyway, so what happened was they said that absinthe is terrible, that drives you crazy. Look at this guy. He gets drunk on absinthe and kills his family. No, the guy was a freaking psychopath anyway, and he goes and drinks, gets drunk on wine, goes out and kills the family, but you only had a bit of absinthe. But anyway, that was enough. So France made it illegal, and so did the rest of Europe, and then so did America. Now, what happened is Pernod, the guy that was actually creating the absinthe, at that point, did some talking, whatever like that, and then he said, "Okay," to the other wine companies or the people that make it illegal, what actually is it that is making it illegal? And they went, "Well, wormwood for one thing, and also the alcohol content." Okay, says Mr. Business Guy. He removes wormwood from the product, and then he also puts the alcohol level down to 40%, which is like standard whiskey, vodka, gin, all that kind of stuff that you drink at the bar. So it's 40%. And then they sold it as Pernod. So it tasted like absinthe. It still did the green fairy thing. So because of the anise, that was it. But it didn't, what's the word? It didn't have the wormwood in it, and it wasn't alcoholic like that. So you could still make money from that. So then what happened is years passed, the story came to light, and then France said, bollocks, well, might as well make it legal again. So they started distilling absinthe to the natural recipe, and other people were jumping on board and creating similar products. Now, America still wouldn't make it legal. And they had a couple of things that were making legal, anything over a certain percentage of alcohol, apart from 151. Now, the reason that 151, this is a rum, it's a 151% proof, which means that would be 75% alcohol, 150 divided by 2, 15 divided by 2 is 7. So 70%, 71 or something percent alcohol. And the reason that wasn't made illegal is because it's used to flambe things, which is, when you see the things where somebody pours liquid on your dessert or something and throws a match out, and it does that kind of stuff. That's 151. So that's why that kind of what managed to go through the door, as it were. But Everclear was made illegal in most states, and so was absinthe. And so then some of the non-wormwood, not as alcoholic, absinthe kind of things started coming over here, and they got to a point where, again, America, nothing against America per se, but if it's going to make money, they'll make it happen. So they laxed the laws on Everclear, which means you can buy Everclear everywhere. Because Everclear did the same thing that Pernod did. They created an Everclear that could be sold in the States to say it's okay at that high proof alcohol, but then they did one that was just 40% alcohol, so you could still have it. Anyway, so laws were lifted, Everclear could be sold everywhere, and then Absinthe could be sold everywhere as well. So that's the story of Absinthe. Am I missing anything? I think that's about it. So there you go. So if you do come across Absinthe, you'll have to like licorice. Also, it's very tempting to just slam it like a shot. I would not recommend it. It ruins the effect. It's like it's a nice kind of social drink, but if you do that, you just get drunk and you get stupid. And I mean stupid where people don't talk to you the next day. So it's up to you. So there you go. That's my lesson for today, as it were. It's Good Friday, so I would like to wish you a Good Friday and a even better Sunday and an excellent Saturday, so an excellent Sunday as well. If there's anything that you want me to talk about, just go ahead and put it in the comments below if you want, and I'll see what I can do to get around to it. I've got a bunch of stuff. When I started this whole thing, this has been on the back burner for a long time. I wanted to do kind of like a stage show. What I wanted to do was I'd have it like, dun dun dun, like, the camera panning in, or trolling in or trucking or whatever like that. And then I even built a one of those like desks, those news desk things. And so I was going to do split shotting myself in different characters, but that didn't go through. Maybe I'll get around to it. It's just a case of getting the ball rolling. And I've got all these bunch of ideas because people ask me questions. Like, the reason I'm doing this is because people are asking me about absinthe. Oh man, have you tried absinthe? Does it make you trip, man? And it's like, no. And so that's why I'm putting this video out. So again, if you've got anything, anything you want talking about, blah blah blah. As I progress, the videos are going to get better. As I say, I've got a laptop. It's a Windows PC laptop. It's got Premiere Pro on it, as well as Photoshop and After Effects. I've got to learn all that because at the moment I've just been using Final Cut. This isn't even edited. This is just shot on QuickTime. And so again, I've got like another camera turning up. It's USB camera because I've got cameras already. Here we go, renting. I've got cameras already, but I've got Final Cut 7, and it's annoying taking any format other than the only one or two it wants to edit on and edit on it without having to render it every 5 seconds. And I used to know there's a way of doing it, but I've just given up. That's why I'm going to go to Adobe Premiere. From what I understand, the person I talked to is like, it doesn't have that issue. It will automatically adjust to whatever format you put in it, hopefully anyway. So that's that. And again, the camera that I'm getting is a prosumer USB camera, so I can plug it straight to my laptop, so I don't have to keep swapping out cards and downloading and uploading and that kind of stuff. And then the microphone I've got is a prosumer studio mic. It's also USB, which hopefully I should be able to, because the thing is I've got a laptop, it isn't a tower, so it should be able to work. The camera and the microphone. So you've got more than 2 USB ports. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking now. Anyway, so that's that. So, yep. So thanks a lot. Have a great Easter, and I'll talk to you again. Cheers.